This one is going to be for the ladies because I don't think they realize that women have been vilified from the beginning of civilizations. So this is before the ancient Babylons. This is before Noah's day. Let me play this. But anyways, just listen to what they say. Let me turn the volume up nice and high so it can be heard. And I want to just play the sounds because I don't want this to get taken down, because I really want women to hear what men blame women for everything. They've been blaming women for everything. And black women on YouTube, when you hear black men blaming you for everything, just know that this has always been happening throughout civilizations. And because black men are under the white patriarchy, this dysfunctional patriarchy, they have accepted and used that same type of ideology. But let me play this. I'm so pissed.
The seducer in the night. She would come to be blamed for the nocturnal emissions of unsuspecting men. Lilith, it was said, could kill an infant in the womb or in the cradle. These are ancient fears, linked with legends that were old even when the Bible was first written.
Stories about a Lilith-type character always existed from the first firesides. Lilith takes the mythological space of the evil woman, which is a space that exists in almost every series of mythologies. Part of it is the discomfort with sexuality, and part of it is the human imagination creating devils, demons, all sorts of difficulties to explain evil in the world. Whatever fear people had about death of children, which was very common in the ancient world, that got put on Lilith also, because clearly that wasn't God's will. It had to be some malign, evil force that was taking their children away.
So instead of blaming the gods that these men created for things or for their own actions, they had a scapegoat. And the same thing they did to Jesus, or the story about Jesus. Everybody wanted to throw their sins upon him. The Romans and the Pharisees had him killed, and they initially took Barnabas out of prison and told the people, which do you choose to let free, the murderer or this innocent man, which was supposed to be quote unquote Jesus? And I won't even get into the name, but we're going to go with that because that's what whole societies believe that person was, or that being was. And said that this being was innocent, but because of whatever, the people chose to crucify or put to death that being that was supposed to be the Messiah, right? Quote unquote. And let an actual physical murderer out. The psychology. The dysfunctional psychology. Let's continue.
Throughout history, Lilith would be feared, especially in Kabbalistic and Orthodox circles, where amulets of protection are still worn to guard against her. But her story, that of an evil but powerful woman, would find no place in either the Jewish or Christian canons.
So if this woman was ever spoken of, this Lilith, right, in Genesis, they took her out of the scriptures. They automatically assume in later books that the demon that was spoken of in later books was her. You know, they demonize women. They've been demonizing women from the start. And when I told you about the woman and her seed warring with the serpent and its seed, this is what this is. This is what this is. They vilified the woman. They continue to vilify her offspring to this day. But these men never take accountability for their own actions. Let's play.
In particular, male religious leaders so uncomfortable about Lilith was that she was associated with seduction. and also that she was associated with full equality. For thousands of years, there was no equality between male and female religious figures and religious leaders.
So did you hear that? That in the beginning, the concept of Lilith was about equality. But these Pharisees or these religious leaders of that day did not want there to be equality between men and women. So they vilified her. Let's continue.
Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, any established religious tradition.
Just a moment. Let me turn the sound off. Okay.
All today's Bible says about her. As to how and why.
Let's backtrack just a little bit. Okay, hold on, because there was a commercial.
His reward for interpreting Pharaoh's prophetic dreams.
Hold on. All right.
We hear her name only once in Genesis. We are told that Pharaoh himself gave her to Joseph, he of the coat of many colors, who would go on to save his people from famine. She is part of his reward for interpreting Pharaoh's prophetic dreams. And he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Pentephras, priest of Heliopolis. Then Joseph went out to the land of Egypt.
So just let me clarify that this Asenath and all these different names that he's pronouncing, those are after it was interpreted through the Roman Catholic or Rome, the language of Rome, so that these words, these names, they're not the same in the scriptures. This is after it was interpreted into their language. But let me continue.
This is all today's Bible says about her. As to how and why she was chosen for Joseph, it is mysteriously silent.
Joseph is, of course, one of the most beloved figures of the Hebrew Bible.
Let me just say this again as well. So anytime you hear of any woman in the Bible, you will never hear about her being chosen by the divine creator. You will never hear about her working with the divine creator. You will never hear any of that, because just like this society whitewashed history from Native American Indians and whitewashed history from Africans and whitewashed every other history, this civilization that started the first anti-woman propaganda took everything concerning women and what they did and how the divine creator felt about her out of the Bible. Out of the Bible. Lilith was taken out. When you hear about any other woman, it's taken out. There's only one woman that was spoken of in the Bible and remained as a prophetess, and that was Hildah. And she's the only one that's spoken of and that was told from the divine creator or that God over Israel. I won't say that's the divine creator, but that God over Israel was told to speak to Hildah, okay? To go to her, because he put his messages, gave his messages to her. But you're never going to hear organized religion or Hebrew Israelites or Muslims or anybody that takes any kind of text out of the Bible ever speak about Hildah. Never. Her being a prophetess. You're never going to hear about it. And right out of the mouth of this History Channel, they're letting you know they took Lilith out of the Bible. They took many women, not just Lilith, out of the Bible. Let's continue.
He's the one who was sold into slavery by his brothers, taken down to Egypt, became a slave only to rise to the very top and save the rest of his family, his tribe, and bring them to prominence down in Egypt before the final Exodus.
Joseph's predecessors, Jacob, Isaac, Abraham, all married women about whom we know a great deal. And it's inconceivable to the reader of the Bible that Joseph all of a sudden goes and marries somebody about whom we know nothing. And so it almost seems to demand that there be a backstory here so that we can understand who this woman is and why she deserves to marry Joseph.
One of the things we find in biblical narratives is that they're often very terse, very short. Now, often behind those terse stories, there are legends that are circulating.
What led to this?
This is
unorthodox
Egypt.
marriage? Who was this non-believer?
Egypt
who helped
didn't
found
take
the
women
Jewish
out of the Bible,
dynasty?
and
These questions are answered
that
in
was
an
one
ancient text
civilization that
called
was
Joseph
very
and Esther.
very much about equality
But
concerning.
nobody's sure exactly when it was
Hold
written,
on.
or
Egypt was the one civilization that was very much about equality between men and women. Women weren't greater than men, and men weren't greater than women in that civilization. I'm gonna stop there because I'm already pissed off, because I'm so tired of the denial of the divine feminine, the denial of the divine goddess in the universe. It's not just gods, male gods creating in the universe. There were women creating, just like there's mothers that are creating children to this day on earth. But they want to cut the woman out. They want to abuse the woman. Anyways.